Wolverine is a household hero name, largely due to Hugh Jackman and his work in the X-Men franchise to bring this character to life. We all know he is returning for Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, hence the title. You've seen all the trailers, and it is essentially all but confirmed he will be returning for an Avengers Secret Wars. However, after Secret Wars, we will need a new Wolverine actor to play Wolverine in the X-Men movies to come. We believe that we have the perfect fan cast for who should play Wolverine in the MCU, and make sure to stay to the very end of the video to hear the most shocking fan cast. Trust me, you're definitely going to hear us out on this one.
The more I've seen of this dude, the more I'm like, yeah, nah, he'd play a solid Wolverine. For me, it's Taron Egerton. I think he's a solid actor. He proved it in Rocket Man. He definitely has the look. He's a dude that could definitely bulk up, beef up, and I think he'd, you know, given a shot. Remember, I mean, Hugh Jackman was a Broadway Tony winner, and they didn't want him for the and now everyone can't get their minds off of Hugh Jackman. But I think Taron would do a solid job.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. He is well known for his Kingsman role, which is a good action movie. Not to mention he has a great emotional range and he's able to pull it off very well. And everyone knows Wolverine for his brutality, but Wolverine goes through a lot of emotional turmoil. And in my opinion, brutality can be learned, whereas the emotional range that Taron has is very difficult to replicate.
One of the guys that's always been on my radar for Wolverine is even back from before Hugh was cast. I just always thought Clint Eastwood would have been a perfect Wolverine. Clint looks mad at life, and every time I saw Clint, I just always envisioned Wolverine. Obviously, Clint Eastwood is very old and couldn't play the part, but his son looks exactly like him. I mean, if you look at Scott Eastwood, he looks exactly like his dad. He doesn't come off as that bad boy, rough and tough guy, but I think given the opportunity, I think he'd do a solid job. I could definitely see him as Wolverine for sure.
Yeah, he definitely has the look. He's in the right age range. And I think at this point, just due to Hugh Jackman's massive success from Wolverine, who cares if he doesn't meet the height requirement to play him? I mean, most people, except for Taron, is probably going to be taller than what we'd ideally want. But if the biggest issue is height, then who the hell cares? I do agree. I think Scott definitely has the look, the beard. He looks really good, and he's 38 years old. He's a great action star.
Yeah, I think he'd be solid. Another dude on my list, I think is in a lot of dudes' list, Carl Urban. I think that guy is even before the boys. I just thought that guy would be a solid Wolverine. He's a little bit older now, but that's not to say he's an old geezer or anything like that. He's just a little bit more on the mature side. But I think he'd be a solid Wolverine. He's Australian, so is Hugh. He's got the build for it. And if any of you guys are fans of the boys, which I think you would be, you guys know that he could bring that dickhead, brute, rough and tough guy attitude to it. And I would just really love to see him. I know we're gonna see him as Johnny Cage, and I'm excited as all fuck for that.
I think Carl Urban is a really good actor and pretty much in any of his roles. You can't recognize him and like in a show and say, yeah, that's the guy who played the horse lord in Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
He's
for
very
sure, for
much
sure. So I
in the
mean,
role and makes it unique every single time.
from the boys, I couldn't. It took me a while, even knowing who he is. These are two very separate people. And he's
Yeah,
blonde in Lord of the Rings. He's more of a knight, chivalrous and things like that. And the boys, he's a complete asswipe.
he's
So yeah,
fantastic.
and he was great as Judge Dredd, by the way.
Yeah.
And he did what Stallone didn't do, which is he didn't take off his fucking mask. So we know he's not one of these actors that's like, nah, gotta show my face, man. Didn't show his face once in that movie, which I think is fantastic. He stuck to the character, so we know he's a dude that like dives into his characters. I think
Oh yeah.
that's great.
He's so dedicated. I mean, we've already seen him in the MCU as Scourge, but I don't think that matters. I think
Nah, I
that
don't think
character's
that
never
fucking
coming
matters.
back. And Wolverine could be whatever age the director, writer wants him to be, because he's going to be much older than
Wolverine's old as balls
whatever he
anyway, so it
shows. So, I
doesn't.
mean,
Yeah,
Carl Urban's age, the only factor is he probably can't play it for 10 years, but still, you can get some very solid movies out of Carl Urban. He is a fantastic actor and he can do pretty much everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely, out of left field. But he plays Uncle Owen in Star Wars Episode 2 and in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Dude's name is Joel Edgerton, and I've seen him in several movies, not just the prequels and the Obi-Wan series. He was in essentially a Moses movie with Christian Bale, and he plays Ramses. And that's where I was like, that dude's a solid, solid actor. He's got the build for it, for sure. And he does have that range of emotions that Griff was talking about earlier. So I think given the fact, he would be also a very, very good choice. I would like if none of the other dudes that I mentioned were cast, I would like an unknown because I very much liked when they were casting Wolverine for the original X-Men movie. They wanted Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe wasn't interested in it, which is funny as all fuck because of course many years later, he fucking plays the weakest version of Zeus we can imagine with that little skirt thing. God, that shit was awful. So his comments about like, I'm not interested in doing some comic book ass. And then of course he played Jor-El in Man of Steel, which I thought was great, by the way. But he turned it down. And then they wanted to go after the guy who was the villain for the second Mission Impossible. But that dude broke his ankle. And that's how Hugh got the job because they didn't want Hugh. But Hugh at the time was a relatively unknown. Of course, now he's a household name. But let's be honest, because I love you, Hugh, but you did a bunch of weak ass movies after that. But he's a household name. And what turned him into a household name was Wolverine. And he loves the character. So if we get an unknown, it can go two ways for him. You can get typecast and he'll always be Wolverine, or it will just skyrocket his ass into fandom.
Yeah, but being typecast as Wolverine, I mean, that's pretty
I'd
nice
love
on
it.
your
I'll
resume.
rock.
That's
I
that's
would
pretty
rock that
good.
forever. Yeah. And
Yeah, no,
plus,
I
all you
think
need
it
is one solid ass movie with the MCU. Even if you never act again in your life, you're set if you know how to spend your money.
absolutely. I think Unknown's definitely a way to go. I think I could say that about a lot of comic book roles just because of how picky comic book fans are. And I hope you don't take much offense to this, but no matter who is cast for any role, we as comic book fans are always going to find something to hate about him. It happens
Oh yeah, someone's gonna
every
be
single
pissed
time.
for sure.
Before we continue, let us know who your ideal Wolverine fan cast is. Another boys star would be Anthony Starr. He is best known for The Boys, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, and Cobweb. And he plays Homelander. He is brutal as all hell. And surprisingly enough, he has pretty good emotional range in that show. And in his other works, he continues to bring that sort of energy to that. I don't think he's just a one-hit wonder with The Boys. I think he can continue to act. He's played like anti-hero roles in other movies. He started an action movie with The Covenant. I do think he's a little bit old as he's currently at 49. They're not going to start with a Wolverine actor for another 3 to 4 years. And ideally, they're going to want someone who goes for at least 10 years. At least from my opinion. They want someone who can carry this role for a long time. I think given the chance, he would absolutely rock it. I mean, he looks young for his age. You can see a lot of Wolverine brutality in Homelander. You just need to dial it down a little bit, and the guy's amazing.
Yeah, no, I think so. It took me a little bit to wrap my head around it, just because I just picture blonde Homelander with that stupid cape. But no, yeah, no, the dude's got range. I'm surprised that he's 49. He looks pretty good for a 49-year-old. No, the dude's a solid actor. I want to see Wolverine unhinged though,
I
because
think we have to.
I
We've
think
gotten the
we've
Hugh
gotten
Wolverine.
hints of it. Hugh has, tried to within what he's been able to work with to unhinge Wolverine, but I really want to see Wolverine lose his shit.
I think we definitely should, and especially with going forward at the new tone of the MCU, getting a little bit darker, a little bit grittier. Anthony Starr would be at the forefront if you want that sort of brutal Wolverine. Next, for me, I would say Jared Kiso. Jared Kiso is known best for Letterkenny, 19-2, and Shorzy. Going off of the age thing, he's currently 39, which I think is pretty solid as he's going to get older as we wait for the casting. He's also Canadian, which is a nice bonus. Not absolutely necessary, but it's a nice bonus. And he's an award-winning actor that has done some great emotional scenes. As I mentioned earlier, Wolverine goes through a lot of emotional turmoil, so getting an actor who has that range that can go brutal to emotional quickly is something that is going to be very nice. He definitely looks the part, and I think he has the acting range to be able to do it. He needs to grow out his hair a little bit, bulk up, but getting an award-winning actor is definitely pretty nice. And to top it off, he's also an award-winning writer. And that's never bad to have on your team, especially when you're giving him a script to read. He'll have some notes, and you can count on it to definitely boost your story a bit.
I'm excited to see who we end up getting for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the last one, be patient with me. Hear me out.
If you say that fucking Harry Potter kid,
I'm not saying Daniel Radcliffe.
okay, cool.
I think Daniel Radcliffe can do it. He's not ideally who I want, but I think he could do it. But hear me out for this. And I know a lot of you are gonna have some comments with me. But Daphne Keane. I just think bring Daphne Keane back for this. We all know she's played X-23 in the past in the Logan movie, and she's done fantastic in the role. Wolverine, as we know, is synonymous with Hugh Jackman. When most people think Wolverine, I guarantee Hugh Jackman is going to pop up into their head. I bet. Because of that, that's good and bad for Marvel. It's good because when they have a Wolverine, you're going to get people to come into theaters to watch that character. However, on the opposite side of that, you have everyone comparing that Wolverine actor to Hugh Jackman and everything he did for the role, which is a tremendous amount of pressure. If they brought back Daphne Keane to play X-23, but going by the Wolverine moniker, like they can even have the same iteration of X-23. We've seen Marvel do stranger shit. They'll figure it out somehow. She will have a lot less pressure to fill Hugh Jackman's shoes and the public opinion due to it being a different character while still being similar Wolverine that we know. And not to mention, we've gone Wolverine for the past 14 years. And with Daphne Keane coming back as X-23 Wolverine, we would get fresh new stories and a fresh take on Wolverine that we have not had. Keane is definitely no stranger to the role, but she has proved she could pull it off. She did amazing in Logan, and I'm betting since the time that that movie has come out, she's only gotten better, but I think she could pull it off, and I think this would be a fresh new take on Wolverine that would still get people to theaters, but not get them fatigued, not seeing the same old stuff on screen that we've seen before.
I don't know. I think you're gonna get hated on.
That's fine. I still stand
Yeah.
by my statement. I think Daphne Keane would
I
be great.
I I would like to see her back as X-23. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around what you're trying to say, but it's weird as all hell.
Think about it. Just take the time to think about it before you come at me in the comments. Daphne Keane as the X-Men's Wolverine, I think would be perfect for reasons even outside of just playing the character, just for
But it would be
marketing.
it, it would be weird to have her take on the mantle without Wolverine having been there first, is what I'm saying.
You could definitely do something with the story so Wolverine, or still like Logan Wolverine, still exists in the universe. That is totally fine, but we've
Because
seen a
here's my
lot of
thing with
Logan
that.
Wolverine
So
already.
in the previous Fox movies, they never, and this of course is just my opinion, they never really got the team right.
I agree.
So now yet this would be another way of not getting the team right.
Dude, they're not going to get the team right. I can tell you that right now. The first team we're getting from X-Men and Marvel is not going to be what you want. I could bet money on
Oh,
that right now.
I know the first team is not going to be Beast, Angel, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman. I know that full heartedly because that doesn't sell as much as Uncanny. I know for sure Kevin Feige and his board team are like, well, we have to have Wolverine, we have to have Gambit, we have to have Beast, we have to have these big players, which is, I'm okay with that, but it would be weird as all fuck if Wolverine's in there, but it's not Wolverine. Because the dynamic between him, Gambit, and Cyclops isn't it like the romance you know what I mean? Like the romance between Jean Grey, the triangle, it's gonna be a little what you're selling is I nah,
It
it's
wouldn't be
hard.
Logan Wolverine. It may not even probably isn't going to be that love triangle. We'd get something new and fresh with it, and that is one of the biggest
Mm,
reasons why I'm for this.
I mean, yes, but give us that first. Give us that hardcore X-Men team that people have been wanting to see on screen for a long time, and then give us that. Because remember, at first X-Men movie, we got Iceman and Rogue romance.
Yeah.
No one liked that shit. And that was their version of giving them something new, giving them not what's in the comics. And people didn't that I can't find someone that shit sat well with still.
I stand by it. I stand by Daphne Keene. I think that is a good choice. Let me know what you think specifically about Daphne Keene in the comments. Do you agree with
Yeah.
Edward,
You
or do
guys
you
want to
think she'd
light
be
his
a
ass
good
up in the
fit?
comments by all
Go for
means.
it. Go for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. All right. That's an interesting take.
Let us know in the comments what you think about our Wolverine fan cast. Let us know which ones you agree with, which ones you don't, and who you ideally would have for Wolverine. If you want some fantastic X-Men content, go check out our X-Men 97 review. This show is fantastic and exactly what any X-Men fan would want.
Oh, hell yeah.